Emerald Downs Weekly here from Emerald Downs. We're above the beautiful paddock for another show. Thanks for joining us. Joe Withey along with Gary Doherty and Phil Ziegler. And coming into closing weekend for season number 23 at Emerald Downs. The time just keeps marching on. But fellas, looking forward to a really fun weekend, this closing weekend. A lot in store. Let's start with Fab Friday night coming right up, Gary.
Yes, our final Fab Friday. We have our last chance for a fan to get $1,000 by throwing a ringer using one of these horseshoes, tossing 40 feet. Also, we have the triple treat band coming out to perform between the races. A little rock and roll, R&B and soul. Should be a fun show on Friday nights. And also, again, music on Saturday night. Sonic Funk Orchestra after racing, which begins here at 5 p.m. on Saturday nights. You've seen this band before, right, Phil?
They're a great band on Saturday. Stay after racing for that show. We also have great specials on Saturday night, post time 5 o'clock. Half-price specials, 16-ounce draft beer, hot dogs, corn dogs, and more. And that's going on this Saturday as we head towards closing day on Sunday. And we have an exciting day with a 2 o'clock post on Sunday and 4 stakes races.
A stakes quadruple header, and Phil, all stakes pick 4 among those 4 races. That's going to be some outstanding racing this weekend.
Only 50 cents a combination. Those have been really popular around the country, and we're going to have $200,000 in total purses on those 4 races, and pretty much every good horse left on the ground is going to be out running here on Sunday, including Sippin' Fire in the Getaway Day Stakes.
He's looking forward to that. And the list of nominees, these are going to be just great fields. The Fan Appreciation, 18 nominees. Pete Peterson, 27. The Gottstein, 19, including 5 fillies. And the Getaway, 21 nominees. So I'm looking forward to a real healthy all-stakes pick 4.
Well, you're looking forward to Sunday, of course. As part owner of Sippin' Fire, as you've mentioned, and Sippin' Fire, as we're going to talk about, is already pretty much locked up a lot of titles around here, but goes for the $100,000 Getaway Stakes on Sunday. I know you're excited about that.
Yeah, well, he's won 4 straight stakes races, and the dominant 3-year-old, it's been fun to be part of the hot horse at the meeting, for sure.
You guys have had a good time.
Steve Bullock.
Anybody that's seen the winner's circle after Sippin' Fire wins knows these guys are having a good time.
And how about Saturday, the Marathon Series?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that with Jody Peets, who was basically the author of our Marathon Series. Let's hear from Jody. With Jody Peets, prominent owner here at Emerald Downs. Jody, good to have you here, and we're here to talk about the HBPA WTBOA Horseman Helping Horseman Marathon Series, which has just been a great addition to the meeting. 1 1/8 races, 1 1/4, and the finale's coming up on closing Saturday at 1 1/2. And you were a lot behind getting people together to fund this.
Yes. We decided, I went around the backside asking trainers, owners, jockey agents, wouldn't it be kind of fun to do another claiming series or a distance series? And it seemed like probably 75% of everybody that I asked at the time said, let's try for the distance series. And so this was just everybody working together, coming up with distances, coming up with claiming prices. Everybody had a contribution. This just wasn't me doing it. It was everybody. It was a team effort. And so we got the WTBOA involved in the WHPBA to also send out newsletters to their members asking for donations. As we know, it's hard to purses aren't very good here anymore, and it has to do with the lack of horses. And we just don't have the population base, say, down in California or whatever. So we all know that the trend is towards sponsorship of races, and we all have to pitch in.
And we did get a nice sponsor for, the $100,000 getaway race. On closing day is an anonymous donor, as well as that person putting in extra money in some other stakes races.
Right, and thank you to that donor.
You
and
bet.
You, I hope, are the beneficiary of that was Sippin' Fire.
Have a shot?
You have a great shot, so good for you. But it was also because of that I thought maybe we needed to do something for the claiming level, because that's where the bread and butter resides at a racetrack. And so talking with the racing secretary and whatnot, we all worked together to come up with this series, and we ended up hoping to get like $6,000 of added bonus money to put in the purses. Well, we ended up with $14,100.
Nice.
And so, I mean, it was great. And the idea is we're not listing anybody as the prime sponsor. It's just horsemen helping horsemen. We have to help each other, I think, through some of these things right now to help promote racing here. And it's been a great series. And the whole idea, the first race, which was done at 1 mile and an 1/8, there were 17 claims in on one of the legs. I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
So the involvement. So.
And the 1 1/4 race was a multiple horse finish
It
right down to
was.
the end.
So let's hope that continues and we get a full field. I think I hopefully get 7 in that field. And all the entry fees from the first race, second race, and the third race will also now be added to that final purse. So
That's great.
the final purse shows $17,200, but we're going to have probably a couple extra $1,000 thrown into that from the entry fees.
That is
so
great.
it's really, really great. I'm just really happy that we were all able to work together, and people are already suggesting, this is what we can do next year. It's like, great, let's go for it.
Well, thanks so much for spearheading that, and you can take some credit because I saw you working it pretty good there back in February and March. So, okay, Jody
you.
Peets, the woman behind our marathon series. Yeah, prominent owner Jody Peets, she was working it pretty hard there in the winter trying to get everybody involved, and she did a great job of it, Phil.
Yeah, and all 7 of those horses will be in. We have a field of 7 going a 1.5 miles. It's the longest race of the meet. And in the last race at 1.25 miles, all 7 horses were within 5 lengths of each other, and there was a DQ, a lot of intrigue going into the final round of the distance series on Saturday.
And first time we've run 1.5 miles in several years, Gary.
Yeah, since 07. So this
really?
is fun. Yep.
Wow.
We've only had 12 in Emerald Downs history at 1.5 miles. So this
Chance
is
at a track
the
record?
13th, and Roy Lum has won the most.
Really?
He's got 3. And does he have Andy Peak in this race, or was he claimed off, Roy?
Yeah, he got claimed. Ada
Okay.
Peak won 1 1/8 mile leg and the 1.25 mile before being DQ'd, but 1.5 miles, and it's tough to be good, doesn't hold the track record. He does it 1.25 miles and 1 3/4 miles. But nonetheless, we're going to have an exciting Saturday here at the track. First race 5 p.m. Remember those half-price specials all around the track as well. Okay, we're just getting started. We'll be back shortly here on Emerald Downs Weekly.
Phil, can I run 1.5 miles?
You would not make it 1.5 miles. 1.5 miles is a great race. They come around, and then they go around again.
Yeah.
Emerald Downs Weekly, and we're actually going to be on next week as well with a season recap show.
2 hours.
Every Thursday
Oh, not
at
2
9
hours.
p.m.
1 hour.
That's fine. Where did that
Well,
come
2
from?
hours if you count the replay on
Oh.
Friday morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I got confused by that wild accusation there.
We could show an hour of highlights of Gary from the past season.
You call them highlights. I don't know what I would, call
Lowlights.
them. Anyway, but Friday night, 6:30, and live music. Hey, by the way, that addition of live music consistently the last couple of years, that's been great on Friday nights. That's
Fun.
Big,
It's a
big
great
part of
atmosphere.
Fab Friday.
Yeah.
Red Herring was a really good band last
Very
week.
good band,
A lot of
yes.
good bands. A lot of good bands this year. So first race at 6:30, the horseshoe toss, beverage specials, live music, and Saturday again at 5 p.m. and closing day for the 23rd Emerald Downs season, 2 p.m. this coming Sunday. Let's look back a little bit at last week, and we're going to start in the third race. The 2017 claimer of the meeting, Wine at 9, is in a duel there with the Gray Thorn Legacy. And Wine at 9, fellas, you remember he won every month last year, April to September, and was claimer of the meeting. And that was his third win right there. That was a tight one. He was a big favorite. But Dean Mazuka of Two Putts for the Win down there in the winner's circle with his group. And Dean has been a great race fan here at Emerald Downs. He's brought a lot of people into the game. So another
Sure
win
has.
for Wine at 9. 6 wins last year, 3 this year. That's a pretty good season for that 6-year-old. And let's move on to race number 4 on Friday night, a Fab Friday. We had a fast track, and the weather was nice. And this is another Gray being prominent. Seattle Smoke is dueling there with Omachi Kid on the inside. Salty Minnow on the outside, but Seattle Smoke is going to go clear. Kevin Orozco, another young rider that's had another good season at Emerald Downs. Larry and Sharon Ross, the winning trainers. And the owner here is the Left Coast Thoroughbreds, Jim Engstrom and his wife Maggie. And mention them because they were graduates of the Emerald Racing Club. We've had several that have gone on to individual ownership or with friends, and that's worked out well, the club.
See all those folks in the winner's circle. We say we have the happiest winner's circle in the country. It always seems like if there's less than 10 people in there, it's unusual because that was just another big group. Always big groups celebrating every race
they
here at Emerald
retained
Downs.
Larry Ross as their trainer.
That's right.
And that's great. And according to my stats, he's had the best season for the bettors. He's ranked number 1
Is he
for
really?
the trainers. Overall number 1, the Ross barn, yes.
The betting rank
Yep.
published every day in our program, a combination of winning percentage and winning payoff, a brainstorm of Gary.
You think
One of the few things I like that you've done.
Victor, the predictor, uses those stats in his...
He's not peeking over your shoulder, no.
Okay.
No. Victor picks for the program on Saturdays. Good to
I
have
mean, he
Victor
used to
back
sit
healthy
next to him
this year.
for years. He probably, what the hell is this? I'm
Yeah.
sure he gave you a little grief over it.
He did.
The feature race on a Fab Friday was older horses at 6 furlongs, and Huya is back. Huyya is his name, and he is going to beat Capital Expense the Gray, and coming up to get second is Gravel on the outside, but Huya an upset at 11-1, and it was his second win at the meeting.
Look at those prices. The top 2 in that race.
Yeah, 11-1 on Huya, and Gravel was the longest shot in the race. So that
Look at those fractions, too.
yeah,
And this horse
Big
kept
price.
on going.
What does it stand for? Huya stands
Head
for something?
up your-
okay.
Dot, dot, dot.
Silence.
That was a great interview, too, because they wouldn't even say the word.
I know.
Oh, he didn't say it?
No, he just said, head up
Tara?
your...
Drew
You know.
Baker.
Kind of bleeped himself.
Huya
yes.
by House of Royal Hearts. Boy, when he is on, he is on. That's his second big win of the season, and that created a carryover in the jackpot pick 7 and created a big pick 5 payoff. The pick 5, $719. Pick 4, $247. Okay, let's go on to Saturday at the track, and of course, 5 p.m. is the post time. Remember that. And early in the card, here's a 2-year-old race. And this is a horse up from California. Fair Faith Hills is going to win under Rocco Bowen, getting up over first-time starter Double Shot of Heaven on the inside. Fair Faith Hills, first start up here at Emerald Downs. I mentioned this horse, Rocco Bowen, started a little streak on Saturday with this win. But also George Rosales,
Yeah.
his second win of the day already.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
2 of the first 3, and I guess Eliska is going to have a baby here soon. Phil?
Yes, very soon.
Okay.
Judging by what we saw over the weekend.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
think she
neat.
was due last week, and that is Alishka Kubanova, ex-Emerald Downs jockey,
Right.
the wife of trainer George Rosales, and their daughter Emily was a horse owner before she was even 1 year old.
That's right. The youngest
Exactly.
winning owner in history, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so nice win, nice day for George Rosales. Let's go on to more racing on Saturday, mid-card. Rocco Bowen was still going strong. Rocco took the 3rd there on Fairfaith Hills. He won the 4th on Rocket Power. He won the 5th on I Know Your Face. And here's the 6th race. Outdid Ya's on the rail, and Rocco's aboard. 4 consecutive wins on Saturday's card. Outdid You, trained by Jesse Velasquez, 2-1 second favorite, beat Mr. Breeze and the rest. And how about that? 4 consecutive wins. Gary, that's not a track record.
No, I believe it's 5.
Yep.
And set maybe by 1 or 2 jockeys. Got to go back to the record book, but very impressive. 4 straight, not too shabby.
Very good. And Rocco went over 100 wins for the year on Saturday as well.
3rd straight year.
We
Got it.
did
straight,
have
yeah.
the big pay of the week on Saturday. That the jackpot pick 7 was nabbed when sensationally 6-5 favorite. I think she was the only live horse
Yes.
going into the race to win the jackpot.
Jackpot.
20-cent pick 7.
No sweating this one out.
Okay,
For
and
the lucky winner of this thing.
yeah, I got ahead of myself because this is the 7th race here.
Oh,
This is Trumpets,
Trumpets.
winning the feature. Julian Coutan up for the Marianskis and the Schneiders, getting up over Cody's Choice. Cody's Choice was just a little bit from being involved in the claimer of the meeting discussion, but He was just nipped at the wire a couple of times, including that one. And Trumpet's the son of Coast Guard, trained by Blaine Wright.
Is that horse owned by Donald Trump? He's a part owner.
I just said the ownership just about 30 seconds ago. They're local people. Yeah.
Bad one.
And then race 8.
And race 8, we don't have the video of it. I just mentioned that the big pay of the week came from...
Won by over 7 lengths. It was the easiest win. If you're sitting there with that ticket, that's the best feeling in the world.
Big pay of the week was Saturday, and the jackpot paid over $15,000. That's our 5th big pay of the year. And the jackpot, 20-cent pick 7. We'll take a look at Sunday last and Sunday upcoming and more when we return. The Win Play show is over for the year, but this is Emerald Downs Weekly here on NBC Sports Northwest.
Yes, you look cold, Gary.
Hey, that is not going to be a correction because I talked my way out of that one.
You did.
There.
You look cold.
You're right.
You got that collar up. You look uncomfortable.
I am. Jeez.
Emerald Downs Weekly right here on NBC Sports Northwest. Thanks for joining us throughout the year. And again, we'll have a show next week, Thursday at 9 p.m., replayed Friday morning at 9 a.m. And we'll talk about a lot of the great events and races that went on here in 2018 at Emerald Downs. We're in the middle of our recap, so let's go back to Sunday. And Phil, we finally had a day without a fast track at Emerald Downs.
This entire race meet, there's only been one partial card where we had a sloppy track. Other than that, it's been fast, or wet fast, as Tom Harris would say, fast track. But not on Sunday. Yeah. It poured in the morning, and the track was sloppy, and led to some interesting results because there was no form on these horses in the slop. It hasn't been sloppy all year.
A lot of speed horses won in the sprints, getting to the lead, and that does happen the first day of a sloppy track often. And let's go to a mid-card and a 3-year-old maiden filly race. But before we show the winner of that race, let's go back like 5 years at Emerald Downs to a sloppy track on Memorial Day in 2013.
And Strategic Patience hooks to the extreme outside, is winding up very stoutly. Bar Tab and Strategic Patience coming. Clemensbrook still in front. Right down the outside, though, Strategic Patience eating up the ground. And Strategic Patience coming at Clemensbrook. Strategic Patience on the outside and Clemensbrook. And Strategic Patience from last to first, narrowly at the wire. By a head.
Robert Geller picked her up, backed by the quarter pole and the Don Munger bred, owned, and trained Strategic Patience. That was a sloppy track with bad weather.
Looks like a beautiful day at the raceway. I'm glad we showed that.
That was rough. At least we had sun in our sloppy track on Sunday.
Oh, my. That did not look pleasant.
But we showed that because Strategic Patience was the mother of one of the favorites in Sunday's 3-year-old maiden filly race as we go to that. And this is her daughter, Tap 2 by Nachismo.
So her mother was a mutter.
That's right. I was waiting for you to say that.
Of course.
Her mother was a mutter, and she's a mutter. Tap 2 wins by, about 8 lengths for her maiden victory for trainer Alan Bozell and owner Wanda Munger.
Juan Flores' 3rd win of the day.
Juan had a great day on Sunday, as did Rocco Bowen. But so, Strategic Patience produced a good mutter. Let's move forward on Sunday. We're going to go where next? The 8th race? How about that? And this is the feature, and, this race here, claimer of the meeting honors, Phil, you're a decision maker. This is it. This is claimer of the meeting.
If one of them won.
Yeah.
It was down to 2 horses.
They were both favored, Curious Rumor and Papa Mambo.
Right. So
let's watch.
Let's see what happens.
They round the turn and run for home. Papa Mambo takes him to the final furlong, clear by 4. Sugar Seeker trying to keep pace. Racing back third is Curious Rumor, but it's all Papa Mambo. And Papa Mambo well on her way for her 5th victory of the meeting.
That's how you wrap up a title right there. 5 wins and 6 starts for the meet. And there is your claimer of the meet. I'm declaring it right now. Papa Mambo clinches that title.
Okay.
Don't we get votes in this thing?
No.
Yeah. I mean, I voted already for her because anybody else that would win this weekend and get to 5, she's 5 for 6,
5 for 6.
and been running at maybe a better class
And more
as well.
money earned
Yeah.
by quite a bit, and that was a dominant performance. So
It was.
She locked up that title.
And how about Rocco Bowen, Gary? 4 wins 2 days in a row.
2 days. In fact, then Eswan won the last race.
You took away our
on that
lead
card
on that.
to get 4 also. But Rocco did it back-to-back days. And I have to go back to my Excel spreadsheet and see if it's ever been done before by a jockey, when at least 4 in 2 days in a row.
That is something to look up because that is an outstanding feat for Rocco Bowen, our leading rider for the 3rd year in a row. One more race to show on Sunday. Let's show that 9th race because going back and forth, it was Rocco Bowen and Eswan Flores all day long. Here's one sprinter that came from just off the pace to win, which was a rarity. Most sprinters that got the lead Sunday went on to win, but Papa was a Rolling Stone, the heavy favorite, and Eswan Flores, his 4th winner on the card as well, and that young man has had an outstanding season. Our jockey colony's solid, and these fellas are all, as far as we know, plan on coming back, like Kevin Orozco and Eswan Flores.
Little extra competition for closing weekend, though, for the jockey colony.
What is that?
Leslie Mowing is going to be here.
Oh, that's right.
For
Leslie
closing
Mowing,
weekend.
a 2-time leading rider here at Emerald Downs, and of course, the rider of Striker PhD.
Yes, he was
Back
at
to
Canterbury
back.
all year.
Yes, and won 6 stakes at Canterbury to lead the jockey colony.
Coming here for closing weekend, so it'll be good to see him.
You bet. Leslie has had a great run as a jockey. Rocco Bowen, some firsts here at Emerald Downs, the first jockey to go over 100 wins 3 years in a row, and he's leading with 105 wins with 3 days remaining. 3 straight titles for Rocco, great in the money percentages and career earnings. Well, he could call himself a millionaire because he gets 10% of that.
Wow.
And Rocco, 42nd nationally by wins. That's a good number with all the racetracks in action. So Rocco Bowen.
He don't miss many races, Joe. He rides almost every race, it seems like.
He's got an intensity and puts a lot of thought, takes naps, gets up at midnight and studies some more and goes over the form, watches video. He's a great guy to ride for you. And regular rider of Sip and Fire as well. He's a leading stakes jockey just by 1 win right now. He has 6 and Kevin Orozco 5. 4 stakes on Sunday, closing day, and an all stakes pick 4. Okay, so Rocco Bowen, Eswan Flores, a big day on Sunday, and it'd be nice if we had a fast track this weekend, but as you can see, Emerald Downs can have some great racing no matter what the conditions outside. Okay, we're going to talk more about the season and some of the events impacting this weekend when we come back. We'll also have Emerald Downs trivia, go over last week's winner as well, so stay with us here on Emerald Downs Weekly.
You wear a jersey on Sunday.
Jersey day. Free
What
admission.
jersey should I wear?
Charlie the bartender will be wearing a jersey. I know that.
Yeah.
He watches every week.
We got lots and lots
I
of
don't think
gifts.
I have a jersey.
No?
We're going to give away season tickets to the Seahawks.
I hear the Seahawk jerseys are on sale.
Thanks again for joining us on Emerald Downs Weekly as we head into our final 3-day week of 2018. Again, 6:30 on Friday, 5 p.m. on Saturday, and 2 p.m. on Sunday. Getaway Day, Fan Appreciation Day, and Jersey Day as well.
Yeah, Sunday. Wear your jersey in. You'll get in for free.
Wow, that's
and we're
great.
going to have some drawings. And I'm trying to get Phil to get some season tickets for the first hockey season here in Seattle as one of the...
Oh, no. I don't think that's going to
You're
happen.
supposed to do that off the air.
Oh,
it's
shoot.
a little better if you have
Yeah.
it confirmed.
Good point.
Well, let's take a look at the standings among our top categories at Emerald Downs. Jeff Metz looking for his 4th title. He's had the lead almost the whole season, but it is still tight. He leads, as you can see, 43-40 over Blaine Wright, who's our 2-time defending champ, Gary.
Yes, in the last couple of years, Blaine had huge win numbers and small second-place finishes. But this year, they're kind of even, and that's kind of allowed Metz to be in the race and lead by 3 with 3 days to go. And You're saying Phil Metz has got a plethora of horses running this weekend?
If you look at the entries, it looks like Metz has a distinct advantage here, but it's still up for grabs. As long as Blaine has at least 3 horses running this weekend, he's got a shot.
5-time leader Frank Lucarelli, 5-time training champ Frank Lucarelli in 3rd. Joe Toy having another great Emerald Downs season. And there's a number of training titles here at Emerald Downs.
Yes, it's probably going to be Metz or Wright this year. They won the last 5, and if Jeff Metz, he get the 4, 1 away from Frank Lucarelli's 2nd place with 5. And, of course, Tim McCann, who was here for many years back in the 90s, early 2000s, won an amazing 10, Joe.
Yeah.
Do you think that number will ever be surpassed?
Wow, that is a heck of a number. Yeah, and he also won titles in Yakima and Playfair, our first locally based trainer. Well, that's not true. Jim Penny, from his history, was our first locally based trainer to be in the Washington Racing Hall of Fame. McCann, 2nd. And Tim still runs horses here, of course, but a lot of his stock is in California as well. Okay, let's move on to the jockey standings. And we talked about Rocco. He's got a big lead. What's that, a 38-win lead over Kevin Orozco. Tight for 2nd place there. And Julian Couton had the 6-win day on the 3rd of July, tying the track record. And Gary Wales, his first season up here at Emerald Downs has been pretty darn productive, I think.
He has.
He hasn't won a stake yet, but might have a chance this weekend.
He leads the Jockey Colony with the most wins with horses over 5-1. So he's been pretty good at bringing in those long shot horses this year, Phil.
I think I picked Julian to win this title. I was way off.
Yeah, well, he
by
always
40.
gives a little bit of a head start to Rocco, but Kevin Orozco, and again, Esjuan Flores and Sanguinetti's had a great year as well. Owners, now that's the tight one going into closing weekend. Saratoga West, which is Jeff Metz's client, good percentage, nearly 1/3 of his starters have won. Saratoga West, that is. And just a 1-win lead over John E. Parker. And John, of course, is the 2-time leading owner, defending champ, and he's going to try this weekend, fellas.
Yeah, this is going to be the fun race to watch over the final weekend. John Parker really wants to make it 3 in a row. And if you're watching right now, John Parker,
Yes.
thanks for all the teriyaki chicken you sent to the office last week.
Yeah, John has claimed a lot of horses. He is a goal setter, and he'd like to win the title again. And Tim Bankers, of course, has had an outstanding season, trained Manny Ortiz, his trainer. Okay, well, the Washington Racing Hall of Fame ceremony, a little bit of a week removed now, but the videos are on YouTube.com. Yes, our inductees, Mustard Plaster, Doris Harwood, Penny Farms, Juan Gutierrez, and George Tadaro. Let's take a look at the career of Juan Gutierrez. When measuring athletic success, consistency and longevity are traditionally the most reliable hallmarks. And they perfectly describe the career of jockey Juan Gutierrez, who has combined tenacity and talent to consistently rank among the leaders at Emerald Downs. Born August 6, 1969, Gutierrez began riding horses at his grandfather's farm while still a toddler. The racetrack in New Mexico City was just 5 minutes away from my parents' house, and I had 2 uncles who were trainers, Juan says, so I grew up around horses. At age 16, Gutierrez began competing in Mexico, notching his first win aboard Glorious Beauty in 1986. Gutierrez soon was drawn to the United States, first as an exercise rider in Southern California, before making his way north to the Pacific Northwest. Gutierrez scored his maiden Emerald Downs win in 2000 aboard Snack Basket, and evidently Juan enjoyed the surroundings in the winner's circle. He currently ranks number 2 in virtually every major riding category at Emerald Downs. 1,320 wins, 62 stakes wins, and over $14 million in purse earnings. For riders in the Northwest, the biggest prize is the Longacres Mile, and twice Gutierrez has taken down that race. In 2005, guiding No Giveaway to the biggest upset in the 83-year history of the race, and then in 2007, when he got the Great Face home by a desperate head in the richest mile ever.
The Great Face tackled by Raise the Bluff. and Raise the Bluff has gradually gone up, and on the rail, Gotta Goes to a Chance. The Great Face, Raise the Bluff, and back on the inside, Gotta Goes to a Chance. Raise the Bluff takes the lead in the Long Acres Mile with the Great Face fighting back, stride to stride. The Great Face has won it.
While stakes victories grab the headlines, Gutierrez's greatest trait is consistency. In fact, before being sidelined by a shoulder injury last fall, he reeled off a remarkable 15 straight top 5 finishes at Emerald Downs, including 8 seasons with 80 or more wins.
I had such respect for how hard he worked, his work ethic, and how great a race he rode on a horse, and he always knew where he was, and you know, he's just one of those guys that just on the racetrack, he was just always a safe, professional guy.
In 2012, Gutierrez won the riding title with a career-high 117 wins, 20 more than the runner-up, including 3 stakes wins aboard Horse of the Meeting, class included. There are plenty of other achievements. Twice Gutierrez rode 3 stakes winners in a day at Emerald Downs. Twice he rode 5 winners in a day here. And he also won a pair of riding titles at Portland Meadows. One of Juan's proudest achievements, though, was putting his daughter, Tanya, through college at the University of California, Davis, where she graduated in 2013 with a degree in speech therapy. And today, Washington Racing is proud to honor Juan Gutierrez with his induction into the Washington Racing Hall of Fame. Emerald Downs Weekly continues. Joe Withey, Gary K. Doherty, and Phil Ziegler on the show. And closing weekend coming up, and we bestow awards on the top performers and performances for 2018 on Sunday as best we can. But a few of the categories are up for grabs. How about top older horse?
That's the tough one. We were arguing about this one because Reiser and Barkley are both strong candidates. I think Reiser pretty much clinched it by winning and beating Barkley on the track 3 times, but he was disqualified one of those times, and that throws a whole different aspect into that discussion.
Because Barkley won a race on August
won the
11th
mile.
called the Long Acres Mile.
Yep.
Reiser was hurt.
Reiser didn't run in the mile. And
he
didn't
dance.
He didn't
Barkley
dance,
the biggest
but
dance.
I don't think he could lose it for him. He beat him, though.
He beat him on the
hard.
square.
Yeah.
But you got a race that's worth 4 times the amount of money. It's going to be interesting.
Only one time has the locally based winner of the mile not been named top older horse.
Right.
And that was Sabretooth back in 2002 when his first win of the meeting was the mile. And Flying Notes had this sensational 3-year-old year that
now,
season.
in a lot of years, the top older male is also horse of the meet. But that's definitely 100% not happening this year because that's sipping fire.
Okay, well, you're pretty sure on that. How about top older filly or mare? Blaine Wright has Fly Far Away, Invested Prospect, Reginella, and Top Quality, all with multiple starts and stakes wins. I think I'll give it to Reginella. She won the Distaff, the longest race of the bunch, and the records are pretty similar.
Yeah.
Fly Far Away did have 3 wins at the meeting.
I would say, and Top Quality also won one of the unrestricted stakes and finished behind Reginella in the big older filly mare race. Correct?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm splitting my vote.
You're splitting
Reginella,
it?
Top Quality.
Yeah, that's
Splitting.
Same record, same earnings. They beat each other.
half a point each.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
That's right. Same earnings, exactly. Okay. And then the 2-year-old races, of course, are pending because so many juveniles involved in the Gottstein Futurity, both fillies and colts and geldings. So we'll have to wait until that race is over on Sunday. Okay, another one of our Washington Racing Hall of Fame inductees, trainer Doris Harwood. What a career she's had at Emerald Downs. It would be impossible to overstate the profound impact of trainer Doris Harwood in Washington racing. She is the greatest big money trainer in Emerald Downs history, saddling a record 67 stakes winners while conditioning several of the track's most legendary performers, including the incomparable Noosa Beach. Along the way, Harwood became the first trainer to take an Emerald Downs horse to the Breeders' Cup, Smarty Deb finishing a respectable 5th in the 2007 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. And at Emerald Downs, her runners have captured a phenomenal 17 divisional titles. Born in tiny Fancy Farm, Kentucky, one of 6 children, and a daughter of a plumber, Doris Jones moved west with her family to the Lake City suburb of Seattle in the mid-50s. Her first experience with horses was with a friend one summer when, as a reward for mucking stalls, they were allowed to ride assorted horses before sundown. Before long, Doris Eversole earned her stripes as a fledgling jockey, notching her maiden victory on Foxy Tiki Boy at Yakima Meadows in 1977. Although she enjoyed success in the saddle, training ultimately is where Doris made her mark in racing, scoring her first victory with a 7-year-old mare, Mary's Friday, in 1988. Doris is quick to credit longtime clients like Michael Polowitz, Ken L. Haddoff, Jerry Paxton, and Ivan and Dolores Christensen. But in the final analysis, a trainer must produce. Over the last 3 decades, the Harwood stable has been a cavalcade of champions and stakes winners, including a record 12 stakes wins at Emerald Downs in both 2007 and 9, and a record 21 wins by 2-year-olds in 2009.
I just had such a respect for her knowledge for her horses, that I would listen to her, and that's what I did. I would just sit and listen to everything she knew, and I'd get those pages, and I would get a page from her that Ricky Frazier, come to my barn immediately, and I'd have to show up, and we'd have those closed door powwows, and it was always about how 8 o'clock is 8 o'clock's not 8:01. It's 10 minutes early. That at 8:01 your horse is walking down the shed row, and so is your mount.
Harwood and Al Haddoff combined for 2 especially meaningful victories. Margot's Gift taking the $250,000 favorite Trick Stakes at Monmouth Park, one of the richest victories ever by a Washington bred, and Music of My Soul capturing the 2012 Gottstein Futurity to give Al Haddoff a victory in the race honoring his grandfather. One particular set of bloodlines, Harbor the Gold and Julia Rose, has been especially potent for Harwood and her husband Jeff. Cure My Blues, the second dam of Noosa Beach, Music of My Soul, and Nusito, was claimed by the Harwoods in 1994, and that trio of runners combined for 18 stakes victories and banked nearly $1 million under Harwood's care. For Harwood, Noosa Beach is the crowning achievement. One of the fastest and most versatile runners in state history, Noosa Beach was the complete package of tactical speed and stamina, winning the 2010 mile and amassing a record 11 Emerald Downs Stakes victories and 2 Washington Horse of the Year titles.
It's Noosa Beach in front. The only danger is Jersey Town. Noosa Beach too clear. Noosa Beach holding Jersey Town. And it's going to be Noosa Beach's mile. Noosa Beach a link to Jersey Town.
Inducted into the Washington Racing Hall of Fame in 2017, Noosa Beach was honored with a Winner's Circle retirement ceremony in 2013. A remarkable career, indeed one that has landed Doris Harwood in the Washington Racing Hall of Fame. Well, Doris Harwood, what's been her most strongest accomplishment? Well, she holds a state record for earnings at one meeting for a trainer, over $900,000. I think one of them is that she's won a divisional title with every category available. Tremendous run for Doris Harwood.
You bet.
Okay, let's talk about trivia. And last week's question, which horse has the most career starts at Emerald Downs? Any guesses on that? There's the answer for you. West Seattle Boy, 88 starts. He also has the most wins, 21. Kim Swanson knew that. She's our winner. And Kim, you have a box for 4. We'll let you do it next season if you wish as well, because we only have 1 week this season. So Kim got that right. West Seattle Boy. Closest active horse is Lizzie Lass with 78 starts. Okay, this week's question. Who is the only 3-time Washington Horse of the Year? Send your answers to trivia@emeralddowns.com. And the answer is a fairly current horse, so there's a little hint for you. Okay, we're going to take a time out, come back with our final segment on Emerald Downs Weekly. You guys saw the question. You stumped a little bit there?
Now, that's a 1 in 9 shot. You're going to get...
You struck a good question there.
Hey.
Okay.
Well, I gave you a good hint, too.
Your email box is going to get deluged.
Why are you wearing those sunglasses? Come on.
It's sunny out.
Emerald Downs Weekly. every Thursday night at 9 p.m. And again, we're going to have a show next week recapping the season. We'll get our trivia answer on that one, as you guys were completely stumped on that question, but you guys can do the research.
We're working on it.
Okay. Well, hey, you know, Long Acres opened in 1933, and we had a little 85-year anniversary night here at Emerald Downs this season to commemorate that. And there was the mile didn't start until 1935, but there was a big race in 1933 there.
Yeah, the big news was a match races when Nuka, the Australian super horse, came up, rode in the one race in California, and then came up to Long Acres against Onrush. Gary, this was a big deal.
Yes, and look at that racetrack, Phil. That's not a fast track.
No, that was
That
sloppy.
was 4 inches of slop. I guess the 6 furlongs is 1:14, and they say that the track was fast, that this horse, Winuka, would have ran it in 109 and a change or 110. He was the second coming of Farlap, who come up here and raced in Mexico and won, and then got killed in a really bizarre
and a movie was
story.
Made. Yes. And Edgar Britt, the jockey of Winuka, just passed away in 2017 at the age of 103.
Wow.
How about that? And this was big news. That was the first big Washington race that kind of went nationwide. The New York Times ran a story on that match race, and it was a big deal.
12,000 came out, and I think it made Joe Gottstein realize he needed something unique to draw a big crowd. And Joe, 2 years later,
Long Acres Mile.
Yes.
A lot of tracks didn't race on Sunday back
That
then,
too,
but
right.
Long Acres did, and $10,000 purse was very significant. And boy, the jockeys and the horses that entered that race over the next 83 years have been very prominent.
Joe put up $5,000 for that winner-take-all race.
Yeah, that was big money then.
Yes, 5,000 in the
33,
30s.
yeah.
Well, yeah, purses in maiden races were under 2,000 entering 1970, I think, still.
Wow.
So anyway, that commemorates Winuka, the famous match race of 1933. And let's talk a little bit about this week again. We've got the live music happening on Friday night. First race, 6:30, our final Fab Friday.
Yes, R&B soul band called Triple Treat. They're going to come out and play between the races, the Triple Treat Band, weather permitting, but we're looking forward to him coming up for the first time here at the track. Also, beers or Bud and Bud Lights for $2.50. And Phil, Saturday, you have this great idea of half off on every Saturday.
A lot of half-price specials we've been doing in September. Draft beer, hot dogs, corn dogs. I got a nice half-price espresso last week that was really good.
It's probably, 3 weeks in a row?
That's a great lineup. You can get dinner, dessert, and drinks for half price at Emerald Downs. So
not bad.
Show up for our final Saturday, and then after the races, Gary?
We'll have the Sonic Funk Orchestra Band come on out on the 5th floor. Should be a big crowd. And also, FYI, this band will be our band on New Year's Eve. So you can come on out, check them out this Saturday, see if I like them, and they'll come back on New Year's Eve for a big party on the 31st of December.
Studio 54 70s band.
Yes.
Were you at Studio 54 in the 70s, Gary?
He couldn't have got in there. Are you kidding me? Neither could have I.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have the clothes back then to get. I still might not, but yeah, that was quite a run. But now we're going to have music on Saturday nights for the rest of the season, rest of the fall and winter, aren't we?
Yes, every Saturday night, starting August this Saturday. After live racing ends, our music will begin at 8 o'clock. Come on out, have 6 to 8. You can have some dinner. Music goes from 8 to 11:30. We got a lot of great bands coming through this area, tribute bands. I think next Saturday will be Bob Seger and Neil Diamond, and we'll have the complete list of the bands on our website. So it should be a fun winter time here, playing the Simulcast racing and staying afterwards at night around 8 o'clock for live music.
Bob Seger and Neil Diamond, not tributes to them.
Tributes,
yes.
Yeah,
all
there
stakes
it
pick
is.
4 on Sunday.
All stakes pick 4. Those field sizes are going to be fantastic, and several of the races are wide open. So get in your car and get on down to Emerald Downs for Sunday racing. First race at 2. I think we're going to have an outstanding getaway day. And thanks again to our anonymous donor. Did you ever find out who that was that put in $100,000 for one race on closing day? What a nice...
No, but thank you to that person very much.
You bet.
Yes.
and that is the Getaway Stakes for 3-year-olds at a mile and a 16th. So 3 days remaining at Emerald Downs, and that's about it. Other than are we gonna show this little 2-minute clip here?
we're gonna close on this. This is a nice little feature done that really just captures all the excitement that happens here at Emerald Downs, and we're debuting it for you right here on Emerald Downs Weekly.
Emerald Downs, best part about Emerald Downs is winning.
Winning, yes, winning, without a doubt. Without a doubt, the winning is always great when you can do it.
The staff's friendly. The people are happy.
Happy. You got kiddie rides for the kids. You got all kinds of things for the people to do.
I got a horse running in the 9th race.
Hopefully he'll be a winner.
We get our picture taken.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And we get to smoke cigars.
And we get to smoke in the smoking section.
In the smoking section. Only in the smoking section.
Only in the smoking
right.
section.
And that's where we're at.
Yeah, we're happy to be here. It's the best place to be. It's the greatest sport in town, Auburn, Washington. Right off Highway
167.
167.
There you go. Great view of Mount Rainier. Can't get any better than this.
Let me ask you this. Where's your favorite racetrack?
Oh, Emerald Downs.
Emerald Downs.
Emerald Downs,
is our
without a
favorite
doubt.
racetrack. No doubt.
No doubt. No
Prettiest
doubt.
facility there is.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a great place to be. Come one, come all to Emerald
Honestly,
Downs.
Darnell, honestly, when we're racing live, how often are you here?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. The sun is shining.
The sun is shining, horses are running,
Horses are running without a doubt.
and we're happy to be here.
Happy to be here. Happy that you guys are interviewing us.
How do we look?
We look good?
I think this is the whole commercial right here.
That's the whole.
that's-
No, it's not.
We don't need to interview anyone else.
Hold on, Phil said cut. Phil said cut.
Phil said cut.